And did you want to get into some more idiots that think people are going to get out of jail that aren't getting out of jail at all?
Yeah, we definitely can.
Because why do y'all think Larry Hoover is getting out?
It's okay. So if y'all haven't heard, Trump has announced the pardon of Larry Hoover. So if y'all not familiar with Larry Hoover, he is the leader and founder of the notorious Gangster Disciples. He's pretty much one of their most notable members.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not the leader, I don't think he may not be the leader. I think he just may be a notable member. And he's been in jail for pretty much like since the 70s. He was originally arrested for the murder of a drug dealer by the name of Pookie. He killed him, and he was sentenced to like 150 to 200 years in state prison.
Mm-hmm.
In the midst of his state prison, again, that was probably overkill for the murder.
For one murder.
And
probably.
And then what was a lot of people believe was due to the violence that was going on in the community because of those gangs, he was received the brunt of maybe like a lot of
he was made
action,
an example of.
Essentially. So while he was in prison, he allegedly then organized an entire drug enterprise and operation that was raking in a lot of money.
As you do as a gangster in prison.
And then he was end up found for doing that. And that's when he received federal charges. And that is what Trump released him on. So I do want to play, because a lot of Chicago people, they see this and they're excited.
So he still got them 200 years though.
Well, don't tell them because they're gonna be upset because they don't know that. Listen to what your boy said. This is what your man Chance the Rapper had to say.
How long have I been shitting on Chance the Rapper on here? I said the one good thing he did is acid rap, and then since then it's just been.
Nah, this your man. So.
And then he went to the carnival and did too much grabbing ass and being disrespectful. You just enjoy it. That's all. You just exist with it. You don't.
Before I let y'all
nothing.
politicize this or memify this, I just gotta say I am glad that Larry Hoover is home. And I gotta remind y'all that he was a political prisoner that was set up by the federal government, that he created the Chicago votes. He did so many things to really mobilize our people, and he was really targeted for that shit. And so before niggas get to cooning or doing whatever they finna do with this information, I just want to say I'm so glad that he's home, and God bless his family, and yeah. Before I let y'all politicize this,
yeah, like I said, he's wrong. So the nigga isn't home. The nigga is going to finish out his 200 years in state prison where Trump has no effect on because the president can only affect federal cases. This is what you also got to understand. We have to stop putting these type of men on a pedestal. These type of individuals who, because this man, he called him a political prisoner. When he got in trouble with the federal government, he was already in prison.
For killing another black man.
Again, so this operation that they try to act like, he said the votes or the
Chicago
votes or whatever, that was shown to be a money laundering operation in the federal indictment that he had. Like when they went in and did the case, that was shown that he was laundering money through those organizations. Mm-hmm. It was also shown that his girlfriend testified against him. His co-defendants testified against him. They had wires on the other visitors during his visitor meeting, so they were able to catch the stuff he was saying during his visitor meeting. They were able to show and outline a whole operation of which this man was controlling the gangs and also operating a drug cartel from said prison. This is not a good individual. He is not someone who went there and he was rehabilitated. And the fact that I see like clowns like Jay Wan talking about, do Dirk next, free Dirk next. Y'all have to understand the worshiping and the putting on the plateau of these kind of degenerate gentlemen is not the step in the right direction. There are real political prisoners, folks who have been associated with the Black Panthers. Even this dude who was just arrested and got a sentence for protesting during the Black Lives Matter that's doing federal charges right now. These are people who we should be advocating for. Mm-hmm. Not folks who are killing each other. Folks who is maybe killing, folks who are oppressing them. How about we look at that and focus on those individuals and not these individuals who only thought about themselves, whose operation was only about themselves, who did aesthetics that may look cool, the little turkey drives or whatever they say for the community, only to then put more of that poison that was keeping the community down in the community.
That's always the case.
Like
I feel like it's very gluttonous behavior too. Like you don't want anything good for anybody else but yourself.
And they think because, if the special one, they find them and they protect that special one in that process or through their community, they're doing something special, but you're still creating the environment that makes somebody who's not that special have to live and survive to something that it may not be much at the end of the road for them. Mm-hmm. Because they didn't show that they were good in sports, or they weren't good in school, or whatever shit that you value at that particular time in your culture. They didn't show that value. And now they just have to sit there and be desolate and live a life of nothing because they didn't get those similar opportunities to try to at least make themselves better. But you put guns and weapons and a little bit of money in their pocket and think that, look, I helped them out. No, you didn't. You destroyed the community. That's all y'all niggas did. Like Larry Hoover, what you did is what we have for Dirk right now. That is why we have Dirk.
Yeah. That's why. And niggas rap about it. Like, you think you Big Meech Larry Hoover. Like, niggas put that shit on a pedestal on a regular basis. And it's very problematic because these are people who are destroying the communities that we are a part of.
And then get to live like these kings when they get out, like Big Meech getting out now. And getting to be this celebrity and this individual, like
a public figure.
Yeah, like he was out there, like he was fucking Nelson Mandela or something.
Yeah, like a cultural phenom.
Like it makes me sick to see that, because when you call them out, clowns like Chance the Rapper call you a coon because you have a standard on what you hold black leaders and excellence to. And these gentlemen do not, they fall flat on it 10 times out of 10. Mm-hmm. Like when you just look into the motivations of their actions, the type of lifestyles they were living when they had their freedom. This wasn't individual. Like, this wasn't, Larry Hoover's not Fred Hampton.
Do white people not do the same thing with like crime families and mob bosses and stuff like that? Like, they do glorify the same thing. There are shows about them and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's more problematic for us to do that because we have less examples of like...
Yeah, I think when the concentration of our wealth and the people who are high earners generally tend to be in the athletes and sports. Athletes and music, entertainment. Mm-hmm. So when you have that being the focus, or that's what we see the majority of who are able to operate at that high income level, then yeah, you get affected by that because those become your leaders. Like mm-hmm. Malcolm X talked about it. He warned us about the Dick Gregory's and all these people who are entertainers who become leaders because of either their status or the capital that they're able to earn. Mm-hmm. So, and then if you think about the people who are high earners that aren't in those organizations, they thrive on a status quo being the same. So we really don't have anyone with high earning potential to assist to the real problems that's going on in the community. Like, they were just announcing the tax benefits for the the budget bill, and everybody that's under 50,000 is getting more money back, and the people who make less than 50,000 are now having to spend more money in their taxes. So we have this real sick like culture that just breeds from capitalism.
Run that back real quick. So if you make more than 50,
you're gonna get some money back. Yeah.
Okay. Period.
That's fucked up. See.
Period.
See, that's nasty. That's nasty.
It shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be.
But that's why it just gets frustrating, because as a black man and you try to hold each other to a standard, and then foolery and shit like that gets celebrated. It does. And like, it's gonna go into
foolery and Tom.
Yeah, tomfoolery like that just gets celebrated.
I like it better the other
foolery
way.
Tom.
Foolery and Tom.
It just gets celebrated, and it's horrible for our culture. And then you have these people just keep doing it, and it's not enough positivity really being shown, but everybody want to say we want to see more positivity.
All we see is foolery and Tom.
Like, just imagine if you like a young kid looking at it and you don't really have much opportunities. The people
or a father.
And it's just people who, which way are you going to go? You going to go and try to work a gig, or you going to see how these hustlers living and it look fast and fun? Like, but it's short.
But why do y'all not think about how stressful that is? Because regardless of how old or young I was, I always thought about how stressful crime would be, because of like the anxiety of getting caught or getting killed at any moment, all the time.
See, as a man, you're afflicted with this curse of when you see something like that on TV and movie, to think, oh, well, that's why you was stupid. Like I'm not going to do what you did, and I'm gonna get over.
I mean, I feel like all of us be like, well, I would do crime better, but I'm not going to do it because I feel like I would be the one who would be made the example of.
I mean, that's just what happens. And the reason why, like I said, I just get so upset about this. We not too far in the county or two over from us, there were 3 young boys who got killed trying to do a robbery. And
they were knocking down that door.
Yeah, they came down, knocked down the door.
Kicking it down.
The homeowner was there, and he, had the means to defend himself and ended those boys' lives
through the door.
And that's why, to me,
all 3 of them,
because I know that county, and that county isn't like, there are poor people there. Of course, there's poor people everywhere you go, but it's not the county where you would expect that to have to be an opportunity, something that you have to do to find opportunity in something. Mm-hmm. But I also know people.
What county was it?
It was Rockdale.
Okay.
But I've also known people who, and where I was going to school with, who were involved in similar things to what Larry Hoover was doing, and were doing the same kind of operations, trying to create little enterprises and gangs, and ended up going into someone's house, someone getting killed, and now you doing time for that. And it's like, that's where this stuff leads to for people.
Did anybody you went to school with, like in high school or at college or anything, go to jail for anything?
Yeah, for something I just explained. Similar, just like how those boys did that robbery.
Yeah. But
one of the persons that I knew survived, and he ended up getting that time. And when that happens, you get the time for a murder. So even though you didn't shoot or kill anybody, because the homeowner did, you get that time for that murder. Because you were involved in that crime. You were an accomplice in that crime.
Oh, that's crazy.
So yeah, even I was in college, there was a dude that I knew who he was out there like robbing other plugs. So he would go and rob.
That's dangerous.
He would go and rob other plugs. He would look for white boys. So he would try to find white boys that had a lot of it. And
less dangerous.
It ends up getting to a shootout. They steal this old lady car and crash that and get arrested. And like,
because you can't play with APD.
Yeah, and I think the lady got hurt or assaults or something. This wasn't in Atlanta. This was in southern Georgia.
Okay.
But it was, like I said, it's so many people who take these chances and this risk because they want to live this lifestyle.